Well, you may have heard the call for an economic blackout. We just talked about it a little while ago. It is a movement today that spread on social media since an initial post from a man from Queens, New York.
For our entire lives, they have told us we have no choice, that this is just how things are, that we have to accept these insane prices, the corporate greed, the billionaire tax breaks, all while we struggle just to get by. February 28th, the 24-hour economic blackout. No Amazon, no Walmart, no fast food, no gas, not a single unnecessary dollar spent.
Now, John Schwartz, who started his grassroots organization called the People's Union, says today's consumer protest is not really about politics, but about fairness, economic justice, and real systemic change. Now, the goal is for people to avoid making any purchases from major retailers, to send a message to big corporations. Many people on social media are also calling for a targeted boycott of retailers that have ended their DEI programs, diversity, equity, and inclusion. Joining us now to dig into this a little more are Janice Gassam Asare, a workplace equity consultant, and Aldon Morris, a professor of sociology at Northwestern University and an expert on social protests. Thanks so much, both of you, for being with me this morning.
Sure.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. I think I want to start, maybe I'll start with you, Janice. This is designed to be a one-day protest. Can a one-day, 24-hour boycott be effective in the long run?
I would just say a big no. I don't think so at all. I think if we wanted to make a long-term impact, a boycott needs to be over the course of months and years. I think we have a lot of great examples of effective boycotts, and they've lasted years or decades. So I don't really think one day boycott is going to do anything.
We are looking at, video, you guys might not be able to see it, of some of the big box retailers that folks want people to boycott today, Target among them. Aldon, what about you? Do you feel that this could be effective, or do you agree that it would have to be a prolonged economic boycott?
I think the one-day boycott is very important because it will reveal the degree to which people are dissatisfied and who are ready to resist. We must remember that the famous Montgomery bus boycott of 1955 was planned for one day. And then when Dr. King and Rosa Parks and others woke up early that morning, they looked out their windows and no Black people were riding the bus. And it revealed to them that a boycott could be effective, and that boycott lasted for 381 days. And so I think this boycott is very important, this one day, because it will give us a barometer on what is possible. I do agree, however, that a one-day boycott will not solve the problem. It is going to take a sustained effort in a long-term boycott, as well as other measures to try to bring about change.
I appreciate both of your perspectives here. Janice, I want to ask you, you wrote an article diving into the history of boycotts that have been successful. One in particular that the professor just talked about. What are some other examples, if you have them at hand, of boycotts leading to change, and why do you think they worked? Maybe pick one other, because we can't talk about all of them.
Yeah, I would say definitely the anti-apartheid boycotts, and those lasted for several decades. And so, like the professor mentioned, the Montgomery bus boycott is a great example, but boycotts that are effective have to last a certain amount of time. And so again, a one day is not really going to be effective. Also, I don't think this particular boycott has a pressure point. We don't know what are the specific demands.
Yeah.
I admire the individuals who are supporting the boycott today. I'm supporting the boycott, but what are the demands? What are we asking for? So there is a lack of clarity around that.
Oh, that's a very good point. And then real quick, Professor Morris, I know these interviews go so fast. What next? What happens? What has to happen next?
Well, I think there will be discussions about how to continue the boycott, how to be more strategic, how to generate the demands which are necessary. But as I said from the beginning, I think that this is a start, and it will reveal a lot of important information about where we stand at this point in time.
Okay, I really appreciate it. This is a conversation that could go on for another hour for sure. But in the meantime, Janice Gassam Asare and Professor Aldon Morris, thanks so much for being with me this morning. And we will see what, if anything, comes from today's economic blackout. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.